This morning, we received the sad news that our colleague Rita Tinina had passed away in her house. She was expected to be in the office today, but did not show up. The information we have so far is that she was fine all of yesterday, but unfortunately was found unresponsive this morning. The family has requested privacy at this difficult time. This is indeed a tragic development, and I request us to be calm as we wait more information.
After 93 days of grandstanding, doctors may have lost the battle for better pay. With a seemingly lost cause, it will be time for a reality check for the doctors as the president and county governments play hardball. Rita Tinina, KTN News.
She worked for Standard Group's KTN for 6 years before she moved to NTV in October 2023. Most who got an opportunity to work with Rita describe her as a humble, talented journalist who most often let her work speak for her.
Since this dog bar, the only one of its kind in the world, was opened in the year 2009, hundreds of dogs have had one for the road. Or is it the dog pound? Dog owners part with 2.89 euros or an equivalent of 335 Kenya shillings to have their dogs enjoy one beer. The candy is on the house. Every year, thousands of flamingos move from their home here at the Lake Nakuru National Park to Lake Natron in Tanzania for breeding. This time round, their migration has little to do with breeding. In their quest for survival, the flamingos are migrating to other lakes in the Rift Valley, and scientists will be monitoring to see when and if they will return back home. Rita Tinina, KTN, at the Lake Nakuru National Park, Nakuru County. Officials will be allowed here from the gate, the main gate outside, just when you turn in to get into Bomas. Their security from police officers, GSU officers, you cannot access, you cannot go through the gate without your identification, your accreditation card that was issued by the IEBC. And to get into this auditorium as well, there is a different accreditation from those who are inside here and those who are outside. Other members of the press, other party agents will not be allowed into the auditorium tomorrow or even now. You need a special accreditation card to allow you to get into this auditorium, which is now quite empty. But tomorrow, same time, things will be totally different. By now, tomorrow, results should have started trickling in from the polling stations where the presiding officers will have relayed, once they count the votes from their polling station, directly take a scanned image of the Form 34A that they will have put in the counted votes. They will relay that directly here. And so by this time, 9 o'clock, depending on the number of people in a polling station, if the presiding officer there finishes counting their vote before he even takes the physical copy to the constituency returning officer, that copy of the results from the polling station will already be here. And Sharon, earlier this evening, the IEBC, led by Chairman Wafula Chebukati, held a final press briefing ahead of tomorrow's polls. And despite the IEBC's preparedness for these elections, there were several errors that were recorded. In Mombasa, in Kakamega, the gubernatorial candidates, their pictures and their details were wrongly printed on the ballot papers. In Kachaliba and Pokot South as well, for the member of National Assembly, their pictures, their details were put in wrongly. And the commission says those elections in those areas, Mombasa County, Kakamega County, Kachaliba constituency, Pokot South, have been suspended. He tried to explain that the fact that once the ballot papers are delivered into the country, they go into the warehouse, they cannot be opened. You just have the sample on top of the container, the specific one carrying those ballot boxes. And so he tried to explain that once they got to the constituencies where they were being distributed, that's when they were opened, and then they realized the error. But he insisted that the sample of the paper on top of that specific consignment showed the correct details, the details that the Commission then had verified before the papers were printed. He was also quick to add that following that error, it is the printers who will print the correct papers at their own cost. And of course, the elections for those areas will then be gazetted to be held at a later date. Other errors recorded. For instance, in Fafi, the member of County Assembly Ward ballot papers were taken to Chuka in Tharaka Nithi. There was the same case in Machakos, where those papers were found to have been taken to Kuresoi in Nakuru County. There was the issue of the KIEMS kit, which was reported missing in Moyale, and the Commission says that kit has been blacklisted. Any data that is transmitted from that kit is null and void. There was the issue of the presiding officers, deputy presiding officers in Thiwa, Webuye East and Webuye West, who were reported to have held meetings either with the candidates or with associates of candidates in tomorrow's elections, and those the Commission said had been suspended and will be replaced by new presiding or deputy presiding officers. So Sharon, here at the Bomas of Kenya, the National Tallying Center, we expect that the activity will pick up from tomorrow evening when those results start trickling in. Throughout the country, the IEBC saying 465,000 personnel. This includes presiding officers, deputy presiding officers.
Tonight, NTV, the Nation Media Group and the nation at large mourns a journalist par excellence, Rita Tinina. Rita passed on at her home in Kileleshwa on Sunday morning, quietly in her sleep. A family representative confirmed the sad news this evening, calling on members of the public to grant privacy and respect to the family as they come to terms with the loss. Rita, who was an editor at NMG, will be remembered as a trailblazer and for her integrity and courage in the relentless pursuit of truth.
A few years ago, global warming was just a debate. Now, the effects are here with us.
The long-serving senior journalist was known for her captivating news features, which time and again elicited national conversations as she trailblazed in the journalism profession. Rita is famous for her in-depth coverage of the International Criminal Court proceedings at The Hague and bringing to light the story of the Yaku community in Laikipia, which was dwindling in numbers. Rita has had many other great stories to her name, celebrated by Kenyans for her skillful script writing and wordplay, which propelled her to greater heights as an editor. Away from the screens, Rita Tinina led a quiet and private life, caring for friends and family. She had a big heart. Here, Rita is seen dancing with a street urchin after finishing her piece to camera. From us here at NTV, we say dance with the angels RT. Melita.